So Sean Hannity has been really acting as the front line of defense for Trump recently. He used to have on RFK and play patty cakes with him and tell him he's special. But now he had on RFK recently and started shitting on him. Why? Because when RFK announced he's no longer running as a Democrat, he's going to run as an independent, there's some polling that suggests he would actually take more votes from Trump than he would from Biden. So in other words, he may end up helping Biden in the general election. Hannity knows this. He's aware of this. And so he decided no more fun time with RFK. Now I'm going to go on the offense. Now he's the enemy. And by the way, conservatives in general flipped on a dime. Some of them even said it. Hey, I used to support this guy when I could use him to bash Biden. Now he's not helping my cause, so I'm turning on him. So nice rude awakening for RFK Jr. there in terms of the friends he's made and how much they really support his ideas. Anyway, so also recently, Hannity's been talking to Vivek. Now, Vivek, in some polls, he surged quite a bit, and he's one of the higher-level candidates. He's up there with DeSantis and Nikki Haley. It varies state to state and depending on which national poll you look at. But Vivek is one of the higher-level candidates. He's up there in that second tier. You can say Trump is in a tier of his own, and then the second tier would be DeSantis, Haley, and Vivek. So it looks like it looks like Hannity is trying to basically stop Vivek's surge and, make everybody fall in line for Trump. So here he is, and they're going to talk about, this is interesting because Vivek has had some takes recently that pissed off the right. One of them is on, that letter signed by like Harvard students or whatever that was about how, hey, we blame Israel for the Hamas terror attack. And Vivek came out and said, look, I disagree with them on the substance, but let's not ruin some 19-year-old's life over something that they did. We were all stupid at 19. That's the gist of what he said. Well, a lot of right-wingers hated that and went after him relentlessly. And a lot of them are going after Vivek because remember when he said, to one extent or another, we should cut off aid to Israel or we should condition aid to Israel. It's one of the rare, better moments of Vivek, in my opinion. And he makes the paleo-conservative argument, why are we spending all this money overseas? We need to use that money here. Okay, fair enough. Well, now that there was just the terror attack in Israel, the neocons are all screaming at the top of their lungs and going after everybody who slightly disagrees. Hannity is one of those neocons. So here's the debate that they had.
If your campaign is principally being run by super PACs, people who can give unlimited amounts of money to your campaign, I don't think that befits the Republican Party. I think we need to be better than that. So, Sean, you and I may have a different view on that. But my view is, if you're making money off your time in government, then I don't think you're fit to be president of the United States. Well, more importantly, though, what's our policy? Stand with our allies while avoiding World War III. And that's where I'm at.
A lot of people don't think you're qualified because you weren't even a Republican or voting Republican until what, 2020?
Well, Sean, I think it depends on what your objectives with this interview are. I voted Libertarian in my first election. I voted Republican in 2020. You're right. I'm not a partisan hack. I come in from the outside.
Forgive you for your
I'm an independent-minded patriot who speaks the truth.
It sounds to me like you just want to jump from the private sector yourself, where you made a lot of money. By the way, I applaud capitalism. I applaud successful people.
All right. Oh, I need to point this out. Sean Hannity is amazing. Sean Hannity has never deviated from his role as the Republican Party cheerleader. He's never deviated. His purity test of Vivek Ramaswamy is you didn't always vote Republican. And Ramaswamy's yeah, I voted Libertarian one time, and then I voted Republican another time. Yeah, I'm an independent thinker, and that's what I did. He's oh, outrageous. God, he's such a purity tester and a virtue signaler, Sean Hannity. Who cares? Who cares? You didn't even vote Republican every election. Shut up, Sean. God, he's such a hack. Anyway, let's continue.
Voting Republican until what, 2020?
Well, Sean, I think it depends on what your objectives with this interview are. I voted Libertarian in my first election. I voted Republican in 2020. You're right. I'm not a partisan hack. I come in from the outside.
Forgive you for your screw-up.
I'm an independent-minded patriot who speaks the truth.
It sounds to me like you just want to jump from the private sector yourself, where you made a lot of money. By the way, I applaud capitalism. I applaud successful people.
Sean, I applaud you for being so transparent about your objectives.
I actually think that people working in the defense of our country, in the defense industry, are playing a vital role for the cause of freedom. So I don't really call it a corrupting influence or suggest that somehow that's a corrupting influence.
Oh, my God. He's mad because Vivek, I guess, used the phrase military-industrial complex or whatever. And he's I think these people are fighting for freedom. Oh, my God, Sean. What a hack. Yeah, Raytheon and Lockheed Martin, they're real principled actors crusading for freedom. They're not just trying to make a profit however they can by selling weapons to literally anybody and everybody. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. And then, of course, the big issue, as you all know, is not just the war profiteering, but also Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, Boeing, Honeywell, all these defense contractors. What they do is they pay politicians, they give them campaign contributions, and then when the politicians get in power, they'll pass these, in some instances, no-bid contracts, but even if it's not no-bid contracts, big subsidies for all this weaponry that we then keep here ourselves and sell around the world to our allies, even if they're vicious dictatorships, et cetera, et cetera. And so you have corruption leading to war being a very profitable industry in the U.S. Vivek has maybe paid lip service to, I'm not sure that's the best way to do this. And by the way, would he actually do anything to change that? I doubt it, right? But Hannity's trigger, these people want freedom. They're patriots. Oh my God. Sean Hannity has the political sophistication of a 7th grader with a hard right father. Okay, continue.
In the defense industry are playing a vital role for the cause of freedom. So I don't really call it a corrupting influence or suggest that somehow that's a corrupting influence. I actually like the experience that goes along with working for defense contractors. But I've got to listen.
One of the things I loved about that interview with Tucker, was we were actually able to have a thoughtful conversation and go deep into issues rather than this kind of political gotcha.
The point is this:
Good.
you go on these interviews. Yeah, I have nothing but nice things to say. But here's your problem: you go on these shows, people quote your exact words, and you deny your own words. And I'm saying, if you're going to be a president.
So look, honestly, in this exchange right there, they're both right. When Vivek's like, hey, I like talking to Tucker because we actually had a conversation where I would say something, then he would say something, then I would say something, then he would say, and your dumbass is just yelling over me because you're a partisan hack talking point machine. Vivek is 100% correct about that. But keep it real, Hannity is also right that now a number of times Vivek will say something. Every now and then he'll say something true, and then once he gets pushback on it, he's like, oh, You're misquoting me, and I didn't mean that, and you're interpreting it incorrectly, and what I really meant to say was... It happened in those debates with Nikki Haley. You know, when he was on stage, he had previously said, like, yeah, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't do, like, unlimited aid to Israel no matter what. And then they were like, oh, we should give everything we've ever had to Israel. I'll give Israel my pants. And then he's like, I will also give Israel my pants. I never said I wouldn't give Israel my pants. Do you want my pants, Netanyahu? Do you want my pants? So he does. Hannity's right about that. He will say something, and then, like, people will be like, on the right, they'll be like, I disagree with that. And he'll be like, no, you don't. And it's like, actually, they do, and you should have had a backbone and stood by your shit and argued with them instead of pretending like you didn't say the thing you said. All right, continue. I love this clip.
And you deny your own words. And I'm saying, if you're going to be a presidential candidate, and you're going to spend, I'm going to give you your exact words, either own it,
Sean, you have been sitting here for years talking about the fake news media.
But you played this all the time.
I'm enjoying this. You have been laughing about the fake news media how many times for the last several years, and now you're buying the mainstream media narrative when you know how corrupt it is.
I am following you. I am quoting your exact words. Did I not quote your exact words? Did I or did I not quote your exact words? Did I quote your exact words?
And Armenia, absolutely.
Thank you.
About Azerbaijan, yes, you did.
Time to go.
About a different topic, Azerbaijan, where people should actually get their own information rather than filter through centralized media.
I think it's asinine to think somebody that worked in the defense industry should not be qualified to be president. I think people that never held public office, like you, maybe they're not qualified to be president.
Ooh. Look, I will say that last point from Hannity, I totally disagree with, right? This idea, like, if you've never held public office, you can't be president. Well, idiot, that kicks out your favorite president ever, Donald Trump. He never held public office before he became president. So you can't now use this argument against Vivek when it's convenient. God, what a hack. So I don't agree with that point. Like, oh yeah, you need to have gone to all the best schools and held 2 or 3 different offices before you become president. No. A lot of the people who are from the political establishment have made horrible decisions that got us to where we are. And also, Vivek is also correct that, hey man, there's a problem if there's people who are profiting off of the military-industrial complex, or they work for a defense contractor, or they take a lot of money from defense contractors, and then they want to be president. Yeah, their allegiance lies with the defense contractor, and they're going to want to, you know, sell as many weapons as possible, and might be more hawkish than your average person, et cetera, et cetera. So on that point, I think Vivek is right. Hannity's a hack. But man, the girls are fighting, and I am here for it. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.